Hello Figgy Fiends and Collectors, this is me, Daniel East 1000, back again with another Star Wars The Black Series figure review. Today we're going to be having a look at a character that is relatively near and dear to my heart. This is a character that made me stick with the Clone Wars animated series, particularly because of the episode that he appears in, which subsequently is also the last episode of Season 1, which wasn't really the most strongest of seasons, but for my money's worth, the episode that he appeared in was enough to keep me on track, keep me hooked in wanting to see where the show was going to be going. Furthermore, back in the day, I was on a massive figgy hunt to try and find the 334-inch version of him, and now to have a 6-inch version of him is sort of kind of really amazing to me, just because he's not obscure, but he's not a character you would think Hasbro would at this point sort of really do. Maybe that's just me. With enough blabbing on, today we're going to be having a look at Cad Bane, of which as per usual we're going to have a quick look at the packaging, then the figure itself. And I have to say, the packaging artwork on this is absolutely outstanding. It's lovely. It's certainly a more vibrant look than the original packaging they had previously. It sort of kept the iconicness of that packaging and then just giving it a bit of a facelift. Here on in, we're now getting pictures of the characters on the side there. So here we have a picture of the character of Cad Bane with his hat kind of tipped. You've also got him stood in front of the Senate building, which is a nice nod to the first episode that he actually appears in. And on down the bottom here we've got his name, of course we've got where the figure sits, name of the series or media that the character appeared in, Star Wars The Clone Wars, Cad Bane at the bottom, bit of legal MacGuffin at the bottom there as well, Star Wars The Black Series. Of course, this new packaging supposed to be in just a big rectangular box, put a bit of an edge on just to be a bit different, I suppose. On the back you've got another nice picture of Cad Bane there and a bio on the character, of which I will include in the description below. This figure is number 6, continuing on with the Clone Wars characters, and on the bottom there you've got a ton of legal garb. So that's the packaging out the way and done with. Let's look at the figure itself, of which they did do an exclusive for, and honestly I think it's cheeky they did that, because the thing that made it an exclusive, Todo 360, this is literally the same figure, there was nothing different about this, but it just came with Todo 360. Could have easily been packed in with the standard release. I think originally Hasbro were intending to release them together. I mean, it makes sense because they've done it with Rey and Dio, they've done it with Rey and BB-8, they've done it with Cal Kestis and BD-1. All new figures, why couldn't they do it for Cad Bane? Well, it's probably because Cad Bane's a little bit more obscure and Hasbro wants to make a little bit of moolah on the side and thought, you know what, we'll do it as an exclusive, specifically a European exclusive, which annoyingly, as a European citizen, I didn't manage to get. On all accounts, on all attempts of the pre-orders going up, I couldn't get him. That really annoys me, but at least I have a version of him. So if I can ever find the exclusive one, I'll be a very, very happy boy. I'm ranting a bit here just because this is one of my favourite Star Wars characters, or Clone Wars characters at least. Let me have this. So for me, if I do find that, it's not entirely wasted for having this one as well, because I've got ideas, boy. I've got some. Anyway, you're here to listen to me talk about the figure itself, not my personal thingies with the release and whatnot. So let's take a look at him now, and I have to say, wow, they've really, really captured the character incredibly well. The accessories that come with him are pretty great. The articulation is even better than I was expecting, more than anything. And the detail, this is Black Series at its finest, I would say. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a bit of a Cad Bane nut, but for me, this is what Black Series is about, and I'm living for it, to be perfectly honest. The thing I love most about him is the fact that he's pretty much suited and booted in this very Western sort of gear. I believe he's based off of Van Cleef's character in The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, and the costume sort of reflects that as well. So he's very much like a Western gunslinger, hence why he's got the sort of cowboy hat, sort of a leather long jacket, and then of course the two double gunslinging blasters. He's just a space cowboy, really. that's kind of neat. The other thing that I like about Cad Bane as well is pretty much all the equipment that he has on him is effectively there to combat Jedi and stuff. So he's got these wrist gauntlets, of which Hasbro have captured quite smashingly there. They've got all sorts of gadgets and doodads for stopping Jedi. You've got his respirator, if I just pop his hat off. He's got this respirator which you can remove. I was kind of blown away by that, but it's sort of there to combat force choking, so Jedi can't really use that against him. Pop that back on. If we have a quick look at that head sculpt just while his hat's off. You got that there. Very snarling, menacing face. You got like ammo pouches around his waist there as well. And then at the bottom you've got these sort of rocket boots, so he can make a quick dash or just to give him the aerial superiority that he needs in a situation. In the packaging these were sort of rotated up like that, so I think you can rotate them. This one on this side was a little bit tight, so just be cautious of that. In terms of accessories, like I've sort of mentioned, he comes with this, of course, cowboy hat that makes him so famous. This breathing or respirator thing, you can remove that like I've shown. You've got his bag there as well, which is sort of a loose piece. You can take that off if you want. And then he comes with his two blasters, which are pretty iconic. And you can put them in his holsters if you did so wish. So there we go. In terms of articulation with this guy, he comes with a lot, quite surprisingly. He has a ball jointed head on a ball hinge, so you can look up and down. And he's also got a ball joint in the neck, which is just mad for a character like this. He's got butterfly joints. This is a dream. I'm not gonna lie, this is a big dream for me in terms of articulation for a character like this. I have to stress that. He's got butterfly joints, he's got ball jointed shoulders, he's also got a swivel at the top here, just so your cables on the actual gauntlets don't get damaged. So he has a bit of a swivel at the top there. Ball jointed elbows, ball jointed wrists, ball jointed torso, ball jointed hips, and a swivel at the top of the thigh. And I love how that costume kind of blends into that swivel. That's just really, really good. Ball jointed knees, and I'm kind of okay with that because the costume actually, again, blends in quite well with that ball joint. So props to Hasbro on that one. That's fair game to them. If we're going to count the rocket boots, there's swivels on those. Ball jointed feet with rocker joints. So that's all the articulation that this figure comes with, and I couldn't think of any more that they could really include with him, to be perfectly honest. I think they've given him more than enough, or more than that should really be warranted for a character like this. I'm going to be honest, this is probably one of my favourite Black Series figures this year. Yes, I know we've had stuff from The Mandalorian, a few bits from the Clone Wars, we've had some really cool bits from Empire Strikes Back, but this for me is just, A, it's a character I love naturally, B, it's an alien, something we don't see too often from Hasbro, and C, they just got it so damn right with everything. They didn't need to include as much articulation as they have with this guy, and I appreciate that so much to Hasbro. I don't always give Hasbro the biggest due, but this one absolutely 100% deserves it. And while I am a little bit salty that I didn't get the exclusive version of this guy, I'm still really happy I have a version of Cad Bane in the Black Series. So a massive kudos to the team at Hasbro for actually producing this guy. I also think this is a great sign of things to come for the Clone Wars, at least in the Black Series. I think for me in terms of this year, it's been sort of disappointing that we haven't had that many figures made for the Clone Wars, particularly as this year saw the last season be released. With that being said, though, it's definitely clear and apparent that Hasbro want to make amends for that. Cad Bane is a sort of starting point, but with a lot of the reveals made this past week or so, it definitely looks that way. It definitely looks like we're going to get more Clone Wars characters, and I, for one, really welcome that. And to see Cad Bane be number 6, character number 6, to be released for the Clone Wars, at least in this new continuation of the number system that Hasbro have done, is a big thumbs up. Hopefully we see more unique and obscure alien characters be released. Characters like this, only time will tell, but I think the only way is up from here. So that's my review on Cad Bane. What do you guys think of him? Let me know in the comments down below. And this is me, Daniel East 1000, signing out, and thank you very much for watching.